Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, we're back with another Two Straws.
Made it out of Seattle safe and sound.
Ugh, yes, I made it out with my life. I really like Seattle.
Yeah, the land of liberals wearing Birkenstocks and eating granola.
Oh, is that what?
It's a lovely place.
You know, I didn't know how liberal Seattle was until I got there. And I was just like, oh, yeah, my people. Let's go. Graffiti everywhere, just talking about how impotent Trump is. I love that. But the crowd at the UFC was also very mixed, very liberal, very cool. And they were wild, man. It reminded me of the crowd in Paris. The first show, like every time one of their guys were up, they went crazy. Like Paige Van Zant's boyfriend,
He's
Mr.
from Oregon,
Van Zant.
but it's
enough.
Washington adjacent.
It's basically
It counts.
They drove over. They bought a ticket and they showed out. It was really fun to watch. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fans came up to you and just sort of like, hey, oh my god, like yeah, great fight. The fights were insane too. I feel like when you have that type of crowd, everyone just goes out on the shield, and that's how the fights were. Like every prelim ended in a finish. The crowd was there from the get-go, so they had every knockout had like a huge crowd to pump them up, and it kind of continued into the main card. Even the split decisions were pretty insane. Like the only thing that slowed the night down was the main event, but what are you gonna do?
You can't have a perfect card.
What are you gonna do?
It happens.
I feel like it's hard to end a fight card like that with another knockout because after you're leaving the arena, you're just so jazzed up.
There were fights in the streets.
Yeah, you have no button on it, so you're just like, now what do I do with all this
fight
energy?
people in a bar.
I mean, there were some fights. There were some fights in the crowd at Seattle. We got out of there quick. And security, that was another crazy thing. Security made me feel so important.
Oh, you got the presidential treatment, didn't you?
Dude, they were like, when we would go up to the lounge to do like the meet and greets with the fans, we would get to the elevator and there's people in the elevator and they're like, you're going to have to get out the elevator. And I'm like, that's fine. They're fine. They're like, no, they have to get out of the elevator. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so important. I'm so sorry, guys. Here's some dollars. Go spend them on something nice. Poor peasants.
The only time I felt that important was when I was in Mexico doing fighter appearances because we have armed guards everywhere and police escort, like military police escort.
Yeah,
guns on cars.
Yeah, the turrets.
I swear, you feel like really important and oddly like safe but unsafe-ish. I'm like, is this necessary?
It makes you feel like it was really stupid to go to the Starbucks right before you got a police escort to the arena. You're like, maybe I shouldn't have gone to that Starbucks by myself.
There's danger in the streets.
Everywhere. Yeah, no, I felt that too with the Mexico City thing. I did it twice, and both times I was just like, they don't even know who I am. Like,
you're drawing unnecessary attention. They think I'm somebody that's very important, and now they're going to like...
Yeah, now they're going to kidnap me.
Exactly.
They would not have tried to kidnap me before.
And try and get a really high ransom that is unnecessary.
That I don't have.
No one's paying that.
No one. Not even Dana. So yeah, it was that kind of special feeling where I felt like it was a lot, but then when I saw how crazy the fans were and there were like fights in the seats after the Henry Cejudo fight, there were fights outside, like by the concession stands and stuff. So people got wild in Seattle. They're like, we are liberal, but we are angry, violent liberals.
Got to take it out on somebody.
I
get it.
Lots of pent up frustration. So what did you think about the fights?
Which ones? They were all awesome. And I got to say, I mean, -1, we did pretty well in our predictions, guys. You need to pay attention.
I think we were on our way to having a clean sweep if it wasn't for Song's little dongs going
penetrating dongs.
His little dongs penetrating
to where they're not supposed to go.
Not in the stipulations. He did not sign up for that type of penetration.
You normally pay extra for it, but he got it for free.
Yeah, and I don't know. He got it for free. I don't know if it looked the same from your perspective, but in the arena, I felt like Henry Cejudo was taking over the fight.
He was. I'm telling you.
Until he got eye poked.
He was gaining momentum. It took a little bit because you have to look at who he's facing. Song is, he's explosive. He's sharp. He has great takedown defense. He's so fast. And so it takes a little bit longer to get the rhythm, to find your range, especially in Cejudo being the shorter opponent. So I thought that he was starting to finally gain momentum. Minus the eye pokes, I thought he won that round.
Yeah. And what happened was he lost every moment after the eye poke. So it looked like he was winning the second. He picked up momentum at the end of the second, but it was pretty even before that. So I can see why some people were saying 2-1 or saying 2 up for Song at the end of the second round. But I would have scored it for Cejudo because he ended so strong. And before then, it was a little tit for tat. Song was doing a good job defending, but Cejudo was finding his range. And then in the third round, he was picking him apart. And I remember because there was this really annoying person behind me. And that's the other reason. I always get excited about going to fights until you get to the point where everyone's blackout drunk.
Oh, and just screaming out absurdities.
Yes.
Slightly provoking my unhealed parts.
It's like every time this person says something like my bicep tense.
Like we still have work to do.
And I know I couldn't say anything because I could feel Adam getting way more annoyed than me a lot faster. All he needs is the green light. And he's like, all right, we're throwing chairs. So I got to pretend like it's not annoying me. But there was this guy behind us that kept going, take him down. You're an Olympic wrestler. Take him down. And it wasn't like he was actually rude, like doing it to encourage Cejudo. He was doing it to get a laugh. So it was annoying after the 20th time he said it. But because he was saying it so often, I was noticing how well his striking looked. Like I was like, Cejudo is fucking him up with the boxing. Why are you yelling for him to take him down? Like he's doing great in the boxing department.
He was doing great feinting the takedowns.
Yes.
Going to the body and then coming up. Like he was playing the game. He was figuring out what was working for him. He just needed more time.
Yeah. And he needed to be able to see his opponent as well. So I'm not like a huge sympathizer of Henry Cejudo, but I definitely respect everything that he's done in the sport. And I think a lot of people write him off as this clown because of how he carries himself. Yeah. But he made such great adjustments.
He did.
In that fight. And I felt horrible for him that it ended that way.
It's really hard. You don't want to see that. Like, I know Song didn't want to win that way. He looked pretty devastated because nobody wants that kind of asterisk next to a win. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And for Cejudo, the momentum that he was creating for himself, I think he was starting to finally see his path to victory.
Yeah, he was doing a nice job of kind of switching stance too. He went to southpaw, and this should be in that southpaw movie. He went to southpaw in the second. I think it was the second, maybe it was the third, but he's just started finding the mark, and we saw 3-2 landing. 3-2s ending fights all night.
Yes.
I was like, I need to follow up better on my 2.
I wrote it down.
Yeah. We're both like, that's how you do it.
Oh.
There must have been a seminar somewhere or something because everyone was dropping people.
We missed it. It's all right. We saw it. Now we know.
Watch out. Watch out, bitches.
We're coming.
We're coming for you with the 3-2s from the left and the right. But he did a real good job of finding those 3-2s when he switched to southpaw, and I think it really confused Song to the point where he was getting busted up. He was getting landed on. And when you switch stance and you're feinting those takedowns, your brain overloads. You're just like, what is this guy doing? Okay, wait, no, okay, now he's So he used his takedown defense against him. Cejudo did, and he was really finding that mark until the eye poke. And man, it's easy to get angry at a fighter for not continuing, but when you saw what that eye poke looked like, did you see the morning after the video?
Oh yeah, we saw the slow-mo, we saw the replay, we saw the post fight. It was bad. And I mean, good for Henry speaking up for himself.
Yeah, a lot of people would have just gone into the next rounds and got beat up because they couldn't see their opponent.
Yeah, and that's what ends up happening. It's hard enough, overcoming obstacles to get you to the fight, but then when you're in the fight, you need to be able to see. You need to be able to make those corrections and adjustments. So I'm proud of him for speaking up for himself. It was a vet move. It's not, popular by any means, for the fight fans, but if put yourself in that position, what would you choose to do?
And to Cejudo's, I guess luck. He wasn't somewhere like Mexico City where they literally will throw cans of beer into the octagon. This is what happened to Jeremy Stevens when he fought in Mexico City, fighting Yair Rodriguez. And literally the first 10 seconds of the fight, eye poke, devastating, can't see. They have to call the fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people were criticizing the way that, I guess, the end moments were handled, like the fact that Cejudo was made to continue
to make it go to decision. That was really interesting.
So I'm wondering what it sounded like on your end, because we didn't have any audio. I heard the fact that Cejudo kept saying, "I can't see." Yeah. And usually when the fighter says that, especially more than once, they stop the fight.
Yes.
Like once they realize, okay, you're not just reacting, you understand. If you say, "I can't see" 3, 4, 5 times, that means we have to stop the fight. But the fight still continued.
So the strange thing, and I don't know what provoked this, but it was Jason Herdog, who is the ref in this fight.
One of the best refs
there
in
is.
the UFC.
He kept asking Cejudo. He was like, "Can you see?" And Cejudo said yes. Up until like the last minute, he's like, "I will give you 5." And Cejudo just kept saying, "I need 5. I want the 5. I just need time. I can do it."
Okay, so he said he can see.
He can.
Okay.
And so at the end of the 5, he went in. He tried to continue, and at the end of the round, when he went back to the corner, he said, "I cannot see. I can't see what he's throwing. He is blurry." He was very adamant that he could not see. He wanted to try to continue. He tried. And I mean, you saw at the end of that third round, he was just completely defensive, just trying to be elusive and move. And he was doing a pretty good job of it for somebody that couldn't see. But then it was just, I didn't understand. Well, I understand why he wanted, they started the 4th because Herzog was saying that you want to be able to go to the scorecards. Otherwise, it's a no contest or
a DQ.
Or a DQ.
But that would be a DQ for song.
For song.
Correct? Yeah.
So he didn't want that to happen. And I don't know if somebody was saying like, "Hey, the round needs to start." So the reason that the round started was just for technicalities, because they wanted to be able to use the score of the first 3 rounds.
Okay. And I wonder, because obviously that would have worked better in Cejudo's favor if that didn't happen.
Yeah, or it would have been a no contest, or whatever the ruling would have been.
Yeah,
if they had just called it.
I think the confusion happens where he restarted after the initial foul. Yeah. Like if he had just stopped then and there, then yeah, DQ. But because they started back up, that's when it makes it confusing, because you're still suffering from a foul that happened that you tried to power through. So we need to figure out what the rules are for that, because yeah, it's a DQ if it doesn't start, but don't you want that if you're Cejudo's camp? Or
well, not if you're Song's camp.
Yeah, exactly. So the result helps one person but not the other.
Yeah, and Herzog was the driving force in that decision.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was somebody in his ear. I don't know if that was his decision. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was adamant about making sure that the first 3 rounds were scored so that it wasn't a DQ, a no contest, or like whatever the ruling would have been.
And maybe from Herzog's perspective, he thought it was going to be 2-1 for Cejudo. So maybe that's why he was trying to push for the scoring, because then at least the fairest thing happens where whoever won the fight gets to win the fight, and both somebody gets paid their win bonus. You're able to just, put a button in it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think I would have rather seen it be labeled as at what it was, not gone to scorecards, them both get their purses and then potentially, get rescheduled.
Yeah, and apparently that's not going to happen, right?
No, Dana White was adamant that he was not interested in a rematch, even though Song and Cejudo after the fight called for it. Yeah.
I wonder
The
what
wheels
that
keep
means.
turning.
I mean, this is probably the result that the UFC wanted, though, because you have the younger fighter, you have the China market, you have a fighter with a lot more upside than Cejudo does, who only fights every year
And goes
every
in
2
and out of
years.
retirement.
Yeah.
He's expensive.
He's super expensive. Lots of credentials. Yeah, I feel like they're pushing him into his coach state.
Yeah, and I mean he's already partially there, but something keeps pulling him back, which I think he's still got it. I know he's dropped, against Merab, against Aljamain, but it's, I still think that he sells fights. I still think he's got it. I still think he can compete. But I think also the UFC is in a place where they're trying to filter out and cycle through and bring in, the newer talent. And, you always hear it on the commentary desk, like age is a huge thing. They always have the same kind of dialogue about it. Oh, he's slowing down. He's old. He's this, he's that, or she's this, she's that. It's, it just gets frustrating because I think there is just a lens that they put over when they view more seasoned vets.
Yeah, exactly. Cejudo looked fast.
Yeah, he looked great, and he was adjusting.
Fast, in my opinion. And he was, like you said, he was adjusting. He was popping in and out. He was using a little bit of everything. He was overwhelming Song. And if it wasn't for that eye poke, I really feel like he would have been up 2 rounds and going into the 4th with that momentum that we were talking about. And yeah, we've seen Song drop it too against people who are more seasoned, people who just understand the game better. He's really young, so obviously he'll learn from this and continue up. But he's one of those people that people have always looked at as future champion material. And Cejudo, having been there, done that, having had close fights, I thought his fight with Merab was the first time you saw him really hurt people on the feet in a long time. You saw it on his come up and when he was flyweight, but this time he reminded people, hey, like, I'm not just an Olympic 2-time wrestler, I
got hands.
Yeah, I got hands too. So seeing him be able to piece up someone who was considered a striker, I was very impressed. And yeah, man, I hope like something like this is the type of thing that makes you put the gloves down before you're ready. Like something like this where it was a weird foul. It seems like unfair scoring. They had a 30-27 Song, which I was like, come on, bro.
No.
Come on, bro. I know that wasn't my boy Matsumoto because he's been on point recently.
No, he actually did not.
He's been doing his thing.
Well, with you this weekend, no, he made a weird one.
Did he?
I think it was with the Rob Font fight.
Oh, I thought Font won.
Well, Font won, but
did he do 30-27?
Hold on, let me pull this up. He did a weird one in one of the scorecards where every other judge gave it. I'm pretty sure it was the Font fight. And he went against, and he gave it to Matsumoto. Scorecards.
Yeah, but this is definitely the type of thing that can make you just say, man, is it all worth it anymore? I'm hoping he sticks around because he is a character. He adds some extra interesting matchups, interesting rivalries to the division if he is able to stick around. And the crazy thing is he's still beating people. Like his fight with Aljo was super close. His fight with Merab, he was able to put hands on Merab a bit before Merab did his Merab thing. And then this fight, he was able to put hands on Song. So I feel like Cejudo still competes well against the top 5, but the question is he going to have the patience to endure another camp when he's already like taking years off and just kind of popping in when it sounds fun and, you know, not fully committed to being a fighter anymore.
He's here for the party.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, cool. I think it's really cool that he's earned that position, you know?
Yeah.
If that's his prerogative, then, you know, I think that, you know, I still want to see him fight. I think that, you know, the fans still want to see, you know, all the antics that he brings, because there just aren't that many of those kind of fighters.
Henry Cejudo. What was it? You think I can beat this guy? That's what every guy in the top 5 is saying about Henry Cejudo.
Yeah. So it was your boy Sal D'Amato that gave Matsumoto the first round when Derek Clearly and Mike Bell. I thought it was a clear Rob Font round in the first.
Okay.
Personally. And he had Rob Font losing that fight. He had the first and second round to Matsumoto. And the third to Rob Font, which I did not agree with. I agreed with Derek Clearly and Mike Bell. I thought it was a clear decision for Rob Font.
Yeah, I think I remember Font starting off strong, and then that kid just kind of woke up and got to business in the second, and then the third one was the one that everyone was like, oh, we'll see what happens. But, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Another vet move by Rob Font.
What were the scorecards for Cejudo Song?
Oh, while we're at it,
yeah, just
pull that up.
Just want to know. Just curious.
So we had I went completely the wrong way. Hold on. Bear with me.
Take your time.
Okay, so we had Mike Bell, Derek Clearly, and Sal D'Amato. So it was kind of mixed. So Mike Bell gave Cejudo the second round.
Okay.
And Derek Clearly gave him the third.
Okay. Sal
D'Amato had all 3 for Song.
Sal. Making me look bad.
I know.
Womp, womp.
Well, he got an important one right. So.
the one. the one for the year. I'll still try to avoid him. That was rough. It's rough to see a fight in that way, but the crowd was actually pretty stoked that Song YaDong won. And they were on Henry's side in the beginning of the fight.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were chanting USA. They were all about Henry Cejudo. And then I guess they turned on him because he didn't want to continue to fight.
See, you guys need to chill. Like, imagine, you know, you're doing your job and you get poked in the eye. How many minutes would you need? You'd probably leave.
You'd probably
for the rest
go
of the
home.
day. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'd probably need to Uber home because you can't see.
Oh my gosh.
The car is coming at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys need to chill on that.
Yeah. The co-main was...
we had Brendan Allen and Fluffy Hernandez.
I love that nickname.
Dude, he's awesome. We both picked him to win. And he did a great job. He has the ability to just take these grapplers and just make their lives miserable.
He's like, I am the grappler now. Look at me. I'm the grappler.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Brendan Allen was trying. He got to some at the end of the first, I think, was his biggest moment. I gave him the first round just because he was able to reverse and then do damage, whereas Hernandez was more, you know, covering, cradling, off balancing. He did have like a huge amount of control time throughout the 3 rounds. However, you know, if I'm critiquing, if I'm a coach, I'm going to say like, hey, you need to do more damage in those positions just to put a stamp on all that control.
Yeah, he was getting after it though with the scrambles and the positioning and just always moving. Like he never got stuck on one attack. As soon as Brendan Allen would start to wiggle away or get to another spot, he'd roll for something else or jump on top and get something else. So that was really impressive to watch. It was high level grappling.
Oh yeah,
you know, it was super high level grappling. The good thing is when you have a fight like that, you come out pretty unscathed. Like I'm still mad that I threw a kick at the girl that I fought. My shin's still like, ow, why'd you do that?
Don't touch me.
Don't lay on my leg at night. It throbs. But yeah, it was a super high level grappling match, and there were so many, I guess, position changes, transitions, like just like what do you call it, like when you're volleys, like volleys, like when you're playing tennis or something. It was like do.
Yeah, it was nonstop back and forth. I'm not kidding you. I love this guy's use of the cradle in MMA. Like it's such the way he vines legs together. We saw Paige Van Zandt's husband, Vanderfort, do that as well, just like lacing the legs. Just his experience on the ground. He fully utilizes everything and makes it like really work for him in MMA.
Yeah. There was some fun grappling exchanges that night. Did you think that there was ever a moment where he was gonna get the sub, where you felt like Brendan Allen was just too good on the ground?
I did not think he was gonna actually get the sub, because Brendan Allen he is really, really good grappler, great in MMA. He's dropped his last 2 or 3.
I know he lost his last one. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
but continue.
But yeah, he's still a really, really tough fighter. He has great technical ability. There's just little things that he needs to develop in this fight. I saw him just really needing a sense of urgency in those tough positions. And again, it's easier said than done. It's easy to criticize from my nice comfy couch, especially when you have somebody like, Fluffy Hernandez on top of you. It just, brings it to a different level. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more urgency, a little bit fighting the hands in certain positions, just to like really solidify that stand up.
Yeah, and so you're right. He only lost his last 2. Nasruddin Imavov was the other guy that he dropped the decision to. In that fight, he was doing really well, but kind of gassed out in the grappling. And I feel like that's what happened in this one too. We were sitting behind Ali, who's his manager, and when he got Fluffy Hernandez down in the first round, he was screaming, "Don't pass! Don't pass!" And when I was watching, I'm like, no, he should pass. Like, why not? He was hanging out in that half guard position that a lot of people like to hang out in and hit and land. But because Brendan Allen is such a stud on the ground, it's like, hey, maybe pass and see what happens. See if he gives up something, trying to transition or roll out of something. But after remembering what happened in the last fight, he really sold out on a lot of the grappling in the first round and a half, and right at the halfway mark, gas gone. So it's a good way to conserve your energy too, to stay in that half guard position, to hit, to make the person on bottom do all the work, and then you're able to be recharged going in the next round. And I feel like that was the game plan, but Hernandez was just so scrambling and so able to get the fight to where he needed. Like that second round where he just went straight in, kind of swung him to the ground, landed on his head, Brendan Allen did. That was like the beginning of him deciding, okay, I'm taking over and I'm not going to stop until the bell rings. It was a cool fight to watch.
Yeah, it was very fun, very technical, very lots of transitions, lots of back and forth. So yeah, definitely what I was expecting. They definitely delivered.
Yeah. Should we talk about the font fight now, since we're going down the line?
Yeah, let's talk about our boy Rob Font. Listen, he showed his veteranness. He kind of looked like he was just trying to remind us, what got him his popularity, what got him into those like main event kind of fights. He took on a very tough opponent in undefeated Matsumoto. And he put it on, he had the gas pedal down as soon as the bell started. And I think that's what created those really great opportunities where he was scoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matsumoto, though, he came after him. I think it was the second round where he just said, fuck it, and went for the takedown. He was just swarming him with all his stuff. And then, like, doing some wild things too, like kind of unpredictable stuff that I think threw Rob Font off. But I agree, he was able to come back in the third. It was a little more back and forth in the third. But yeah, the kid showed that he deserved to be there. And
Absolutely.
As soon as he walked in, I kind of did like the casual fan thing where I'm like, girl in the corner. What's this guy got? This guy's got nothing. It was my girl, shit, with the traps.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Your Mexico City fight.
My Mexico City Trapzilla in his corner. I'm like, that's probably his main training partner. That girl's huge.
Yeah, yeah. Is she going up a weight class? When's the last? Maybe she's injured.
Yeah.
Why is she so built right now?
She's huge. But yeah, Matsumoto walked in, and I'm like, I don't know. This a lot of times you get undefeated guys coming into the UFC making their debut, and you're like, they probably didn't fight that great of opponents in order to get up here. But Matsumoto, you could tell why he was undefeated. Like, he put it on fine. He made him work for every inch of that fight.
Yeah, he did.
That was what, stuff. A week or 2 weeks notice?
It may have been a little bit more than that. I forget when Dominic pulled out, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm wondering if they had trouble finding someone, because I feel like someone said it was 2 weeks notice. But yeah, he filled in for Dominic Cruz. Kind of a different opponent, still with the takedown threat and everything, but Font was able to adjust well.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how the fight with Dom would have gone. I think it would have been a fun one. I think, just the energy, the fight IQ, the awareness. I just think it would have been a really really good fight.
Yeah, and people forget how good Dom looked before the Cheeto kick that landed, but
it's easy to forget after such a spectacular movement.
Yeah, but like I think it was 4 rounds of Dominic Cruz doing the Dominic Cruz thing, just hitting, moving, picking him apart, gaining his points, like just really styling on Cheeto Vera, and then the kick happened. Yeah. So I feel like that was the last time that strategy worked for Cheeto too. Because after that, everyone's like, all right, not letting that happen again. He's gotten away with it long enough.
No more,
If it can happen to Dominic Cruz, it can happen to anyone. We got to put a stop to this. Yeah. But, people forget how good he looked in that one. His one before that against, I think, Kevin Casey, the kid who was like, I'd fuck, wasn't he?
Oh, on a ladder. If he stood on a ladder. Megan. Megan.
Yeah, he's like, I'd take Megan Anderson home if she was the last girl in the club at night and I had a ladder in my pocket, Like, boy, sit down.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, Dom looked really good in that fight too. So it's heartbreaking that Dom had to go out like that as well. Maybe he'll come out of retirement if there's an inkling for a Cejudo rematch. Who knows? Maybe he'll get the itch again. But he posted a pretty happy looking photo of him fishing the other day.
Oh,
so I think he's enjoying retirement.
Let him enjoy it.
I'm like, this boy looks like he's been retired for 20 years. He's over there with his fishing hat on a boat somewhere. I'm like, yo.
I love it.
You've been dreaming of doing this. Yeah. No, for real. He does. The next fight.
Ooh, Jean Silva.
Boy, yo.
Oh, my goodness. These
that
fight
was
nerds.
Insane.
These fight nerds, I'm telling you, they're taking over.
Insane.
Oh, he's so mean.
Yes.
He's so mean. And he was another one of those step in hook with a cross, just freaking putting him out. And I appreciate that he really didn't want to inflict any more damage than he already had. He definitely concussed his opponent. But the ref wanted him to die.
Please continue.
He's like, no, he's not all the way out. He's only out-ish.
He's still twitching.
I'm going to need you to
Well, how many times does the ref jump on and save the fighter and then they get angry? That actually happened with the Van Zant boyfriend, Mr. Van Zant. He jumped up. He jumped on top. The fighter wasn't responding. He jumped in. Was like, all right, you're done. And the guy was like, what are you doing? I was about to do something.
I was defending myself.
Yeah.
Intelligently. By closing my eyes.
Yeah. He was barely hitting my face for the last 30 punches.
Did you see that? He went and shoved him too?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, he was mad.
Man, use your words.
He was big mad.
Use your words.
Yeah, and that guy, you can tell his corner was getting a little frustrated because he needed to hustle in certain positions, and he kind of just waited. And he did it multiple times where he would get pinned up against the fence or start fighting like for double unders or something, but then he'd just wait. And that's the best thing to do for someone like Austin Vanderfort, who's just like, oh, great. All right. Okay, we got you.
He's like, cool.
Yeah. And now I'm on top. And now I'm hitting you. And you're still not moving. So, yeah, it was a good strategy for Austin Vanderfort. But in the Jean Silva fight, man, he did such a great job of pulling out his attacks with who was it? Melsik Baghdasaryan. Is that how you say it?
Well done.
Baghdasaryan. Melsik.
We'll say
Mr. Melsik. This is another person that the your Olympic wrestler guy was really into. So needless to say, I was a little happier when Melsik lost than I should have been.
Did you turn around and look at him?
I was like,
spit your tongue at him?
I did like the little kid in the the little kid in the car window.
I would have done that too.
That's what you get for rooting for someone. That's what you get for caring about people. No, but Melsik was also coming in. He was on a hot streak too, right? Lots of knockouts, lots of exciting fights. And John Silva was just a blockbuster match made in heaven.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was going to be I rooted for Jean Silva just because I think that what I've seen him do, just in his last now 3 fights is just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Absolutely incredible.
Same.
This guy's a killer. And a sniper. He just really knows how to read his opponents and, like you were saying, pull things out and capitalize at the perfect moment.
Mm-hmm. There was one moment where he rolled a head kick, and I was just like, how did he know that was coming? Like, he's doing his little like movements, jucking on him, and then the head kick comes out fast. Like, Melsik's head kick was so fast. He just goes, whoop. And I'm like, that would hurt my heart if I threw this beautiful head kick and the guy just slipped it like it was a jab. It was really impressive. And then when he got in through that 3-2, man, he dropped Melsik. Kind of looked at him. He did this smile that made me feel like he has bodies buried in his basement.
He does.
He at least a few animals.
He keeps trophies.
Oh man, he does.
No, I think he's an animal lover.
Okay, yeah, he's
somebody that's that psychotic loves animals.
Yes,
Just has no empathy for humans.
The animals are the only ones that understand him.
Exactly.
That's why. But no, he looked at him, smiled, and looked at the ref and was like, "Oh no, that's not enough." Bah, 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 and those elbows too. Like, even the elbows to the ribs just look so horrible.
And you wanted the 12-6 elbows, and look what they're doing to people.
I would love if I could do that. Like John Silva, that would be great. I don't want to be on the receiving end, but I was very impressed with the way that looked. So, man, what a knockout. What a crazy performance. And as soon as that happened, I looked at him. I was like, yo, this guy's going to be a star.
Yeah.
Like a superstar. He already is, but there's nowhere to go but up. Like, they're going to keep giving him insane matchups, really fun fights. Win or lose, I feel like he's just going to keep rising in popularity. But his fight IQ is so high that you just have to see him winning in a lot of his matchups that are going to come next.
There's a lot of special people at Fight Nerds right now, and I'm really excited to see everything that team is creating.
Yeah, for sure. The Menifield fight was a pretty back and forth close one too. Did you agree with that decision?
I did. I would have given it to him. And I mean, hats off to both of them for stepping up, earlier than they were supposed to.
Yeah.
It was kind of a short notice fight thrown together because of all of the chaos of the Seattle card.
Okay, so they were already scheduled to fight, but just on a different card.
Different people as well.
Oh, okay.
From my understanding.
Okay.
But Alonzo was meant to fight in March, and I think Julius Walker was meant to fight somebody else. But he took this fight on short notice. So I think it was back and forth. I mean, when you have a huge power striker, somebody so explosive like Menifield, I think that Walker's strategy was very smart. And I think that he was, just hoping to kind of, grind him out and stay safe. But Menifield had, a lot of those just really big moments with his power, with his striking. I thought it was a fun fight. It just, it went to decision, and we were spoiled on the Seattle card.
Yeah, no, I think that was the first one, right? The first decision of the night. So, but I do like when a fight is close, but I still agree with the scores that were made. It makes me feel like, okay, the kids are going to be all right when it comes to judging. And I felt like the judging was pretty fair that in Seattle that night.
Except for your boy Saldamoto.
Except for, dude.
Luckily, he didn't ruin anybody's night.
He didn't ruin anybody's night. It was like, oh, I'm not surprised it was split. But then when you see why it was split, you're like, huh?
Excuse me.
What are you doing? The one fight that kind of got me a little emotional was the Ricky Simone fight. Dude, it's such a nasty knockout.
Basharat was twitching.
It was horrible.
It was he flatlined for a minute, I think.
It was such a nasty knockout.
It was bad.
Yeah, but it was really cool to watch because Simone was coming off of a 3-fight skid. And it was 3 good people. Let me pull up who exactly they were. But he was coming off of a 3-fight skid against really good people. YaDong for one. That was the first one. He lost via knockout. Then Mario Bautista, who has just been beating everyone, he lost a decision to him. And then Vinicius Oliveira, who is one of those like stupid good, super explosive new guys coming out of Brazil. He lost a decision to him as well. So it's frustrating when you get these really good people 3 times in a row, and sometimes you drop one to him, and Oyama, his coach, was there, and I asked him, like, was there anything different that you guys did this time? And he was like, he just had to get in a fight.
Yeah,
like he just had to start getting after it, and I think that's kind of what happens once you become nuanced in your approach to fighting. A lot of times you forget in its essence that you're just fighting someone.
Yeah.
You're just trying to hit someone really hard.
Exactly. And it's hard because when you go against somebody that is very polished and technical and pristine like Basharat, it's hard because it makes you feel like maybe sometimes you have to approach things differently. Yeah. When the real thing left to do is to fight, is to make it dirty, is to just get after it, not let them execute, not let them fight their range, not let them fight the fight that they want to fight.
Yeah. Just hurt your fist on their face. That's what you have to do.
And he did that step in hook and the straight.
It's the move. It was the move of the night. It's so simple. So simple, yet so beautiful.
No, it was a devastating knockout, and it couldn't have happened at a better time to Ricky. Again, the UFC is always looking to, move pieces around. And I think that Ricky just made a really important statement for himself and let them know that he belongs there.
Yeah, and to have his knockout be held at the same level as John Silva's, which was like the most insane knockout I've seen in a while. That has to give him a lot of confidence going. He was able to get the knockout bonus as well as John Silva. And then who was the fight of the night? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I can check though.
It was a good one. I think it might have been Menifield Walker. But yeah, to be able to get the bonus on a night like this has to give him a lot of confidence going forward. It's always
correct.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. It's always nice when you're able to make an adjustment in camp and then it works. You know, that gives you a lot of just a lot of good vibes going into the next one as well. So yeah, that one I was like, good job. Let's go, bringing the skid. All right. Were there any other fights that really jumped out at you?
Not too much. I mean, I think the fight card as a whole was just very exciting. You know, just sorry, when I think of Seattle, I think sleepiness. So I thought this card might be
sleeplessness.
Thought it might be a snoozer.
Ah.
But it wasn't. It was not. We just had a lot of finishes. So Costa and Fili and Cutelaba and Aslan, those were like really quick fights those are fights that ended pretty quickly. Cutelaba ended up exchanging a beer for his fight shorts.
Oh.
Yeah.
When that happen in the stands or something?
Yeah,
like
he
when
was
he was
walking
back?
out. Yeah, when he was walking out.
That's
yeah,
so fun.
It was pretty cute. Pretty cute.
Usually you could get a beer for free. Maddie had to give something up for it.
I'm sure whoever handed him the beer would have been happy to just,
just swap spit.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me once when I was San Diego. Not swap spit. But let me
what
explain.
did Adam say?
Hey, I'm not Adesanya, okay? I don't just make out with people.
I haven't heard that one. What?
You never seen that?
No.
So I think he did the head clash. He did something with a fan, but everyone's saying that it looked like he gave him a kiss on the lips.
Oh.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, I gotta find you the video, but it was pretty funny. But anyway, I would not do that. But there was a nice, warm, half-drunk beer waiting for me as I got out of the arena in San Diego. And so I grabbed it because I'm like, oh, yeah, beer. Yeah, let's go. And then as I'm walking backstage, the security guard, which was Black Mama, she had Black Mama energy. She went,
no.
Girl, you don't know where that beer was. It was warm. It was half full. There was nothing good about that beer except for the fact that I just won the fight. So.
But it tasted so good, I bet.
It tasted amazing. Best warm beer I've ever had. So yeah, thank you to that auntie that saved me from getting mono that night. That was good on you. Well, yeah, like you were saying that he had to swap something for a beer. Is there something you'd swap?
I'd swap some gear.
Yeah, would it have to be like something nice, like a nice Cabernet?
No. After a fight, no.
It's anything.
I'll slum it.
You drink one of my beers?
I would drink one of your beers. Yeah, I mean, slowly.
One of my IPAs?
Slowly, very slowly.
What would you swap?
Yeah, I'd take off my shorts for it.
What if I asked you for your bra?
I wear two, so I give it.
Oh, sick. All right, guys, if you're in the stands after Jess wins her next fight, you know what she'll do for a beer. Get that titty sweat. Oh, speaking of your fight, somebody was asking about GFL on our page. Hold on, I will bring up
where
the
they
person. Kaiju Shingeki.
Wow, look at that pronunciation.
Big old monster over here. Kaiju Shingeki says, I'm interested to hear Jessica talk about GFL, this mystery promotion with no dates or venues announced, but they apparently have signed every inactive and retired MMA fighter that's alive. So maybe you don't know where the venues and dates are.
No,
but
none of us do.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm serious. No, everything is just so... They changed it.
What?
Yeah.
So tell me more.
Everything keeps getting changed, you guys. Oh, no. Nobody knows what's going on. They give us these little breadcrumbs and we're like, okay, cool. We got the scoop. And then they're like, hey, we're going to send out something in email to everybody that like updates you on what's going on. And then we don't get it. And then I hear something from my manager or I hear something from somebody else who's like, signed with the league. And I'm like, really? That doesn't line up with anything that I've heard so far. So I think what's happening is the issue is they don't have a venue lockdown. I mean, they have the desired venue in the desired, city, which is LA. Uh-huh. But I've been given 3 different possible dates and nothing solidified. I've also been given like opponent information, but for the fights that they're releasing, I don't know if that lines up anymore.
So it's not Joyce.
No. I mean, that's what I was told. I was taught
we were fighting. The only thing I knew about her. Her name was Joyce.
I know. I was told that we were fighting Team Sao Paulo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you knew there was a Joyce on Team Sao Paulo.
Yes.
Okay.
I was given the team and the name. And I was given 2 possible dates. Now I'm given another date, and I don't know if it's the same opponent. I mean, I'm cool with whatever opponent I get. Like, it's just, I would just like a date.
It would be nice to know.
Face. Just a face to, maybe just like dislike a little bit more than the others. Like,
to tape on the heavy bag.
Exactly. I need, a name so that you can imitate them properly.
Oh yeah, of course. I can even change my hair this time because it's about that time. As soon as we figure out who it is, I can go get that weave installed real quick. And then it's on.
So, and I've gotten phone calls from other people that like have been drafted and are on designated teams. And like, we kind of all we put our information together and it's not all connecting.
Huh.
So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, are you a part of that group chat for the thing?
Yeah.
The secret group chat. You guys should do that for GFL too.
I guess so.
Like have a secret group chat. So
we
everyone.
Do.
Oh, okay. You have one?
Well, I have one with my female teammates.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Maybe slowly add in some more people so you can like from different teams so you have a good idea. Yeah. Not the one where you talk shit about the other team.
No. See, you need to make sure you categorize those ones properly too. Because you'll just be like throwing someone out there and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Delete. Somebody already saw it for sure, but we'll just pretend that it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. We didn't know you were here. We're sorry. We respect you. Everyone talks shit about you behind your back, but we respect you.
Ever since I got added to that other group chat, I've been getting some weird phone calls.
Oh,
really? I'm like, I need to get out of this thing. Like, some information was shared.
Oh, no.
I know.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
don't corrupt the integrity of the group chat, guys. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a little disappointing because I thought that you guys were pretty set in at least the first tier of fights that's happening.
Thought so.
Yeah. So
kidding.
What was the last information that you got before they changed it?
So the last information I got was the card would be in LA on the last weekend of April or the first weekend of May.
Okay.
And now I think it's being pushed back 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's hard to secure a venue, especially when there are so many other like things going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to book out, a year in advance. I mean, imagine, you're having like a wedding. And you try and book it a few months in advance. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get that venue. You're going to end up at like your auntie's backyard.
Yeah. You can't get the nice place.
No.
Yeah.
No. You got like 10th pick, and you have nobody to be mad at but yourself.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're still locking down.
We're going to end up at freaking Commerce Casino, I swear. Do you know how small that place is?
Where is that?
Know where you want to go, Angela.
Is that in Vegas?
No, it's in LA.
Oh.
But like the hood, like Compton, like.
Is that where they had Invicta?
I have fought at Commerce Casino for Fatal Femmes.
Ooh, that sounds like you were fighting in Jello.
I know. Exactly.
Or like one of those kiddie pools full of mud.
Lube. In bikinis. I mean, might as well have been. That's the dark days of MMA. That's how long I've been fighting. God. We've come so far.
You're like, that's not on my Tapology, but it happened. There's video somewhere on VHS. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the good old days.
Well, hopefully it'll end up somewhere a little nicer than that, and everyone gets their paycheck, because that's the most important thing. It's like, we don't care if we're fighting in our auntie's backyard as long as the check clears.
Yeah. Do you remember when I was doing analyst work and doing stuff for that bare knuckle?
BKFFFFSC?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were... That was a terrible time. That check bounced.
No.
Nobody got paid their checks.
Ugh.
Nobody. And there were like some big medical bills for that one too, because it's bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Like people got messed up. There was not one person that came out and didn't need a trip to the hospital.
Oh my God. Luckily you're commentating. You probably still could have used the trip. I think I need a tetanus shot after being part of this shit, you know?
You never know. You never know. No, that was bad.
Oh,
I feel really bad that happened. I mean, I was a small part of the show, and I wasn't putting my life and health on the line. So it was a little bit, less damaging for me, but still there were, people that fought and were supposed to get paid like life-changing money, and they didn't get it.
No, whenever you're part of a situation like that and you don't end up as screwed as, the person who headlined, who got 50 lacerations on their face, then you're a little grateful that it wasn't that bad, but it still sucks all around.
Yeah, it still wasn't an ideal situation, but I think I got out luckier than most.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed that the GFL ends up more faithful than BKFF.
No, and I'm not I'm not comparing the two at all. It just brought up.
But it's just something that happens,
Yeah, it does.
And that's why a lot of people were skeptical when it first came out, including Kaiju over here, because there is a lot of money being promised to people, and everyone's wondering where the money's coming from. So yeah, well, some questions are going to be answered come May.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
June. July.
Hopefully May.
We'll see.
Hopefully, fingers crossed May. We're only in February, so... Or no,
it's
March?
almost over.
Yeah, well...
This is a short month.
We're still in February, so hopefully...
Listen, I just need to be able to, like, time it right, because last fight camp, I feel like fight camp was just, like, too long for me, and I peaked. And I started like that downward, like I hit the thing and then I just started going down. So I just need to be able to time everything properly. So right now I'm in pre-camp mode.
Okay.
So I'm doing the road work, the technical stuff, and starting to, just try and build.
Yeah. How many weeks do you like to go before you feel like you peaked? Is it like 6, 5?
Well, normally I think between 6 to 8 is a sweet spot, but I think I had a little bit longer last time, and it was just too much. A little too much intensity in pre-camp. It didn't work out. So I think maybe because I am one of those veterans, I think maybe 6 weeks might be my sweet spot now.
Yeah. Well, it's like you don't have anything to really learn at this point. It's just about. Well, it's about taking what you know how to do and applying it at the right time.
Sure.
And I think it's hard to like go from that like I gotta learn how to do all the moves mode to like, okay, let's take the stuff we do really well and make a game plan out of that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that I do have a lot of tools in my tool belt. Of course, like I, can tighten and sharpen things up, and I think that I can always add. But I think something that I've been missing is just putting things together in a way that just really supports my style. So we're going to work on that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be able to slide back into training this week and help you out with that. And
Which one was it?
It's the other one.
Why do I give it?
Okay, done. Let's see.
Squeeze.
Oh, that's good.
There was a little twitch of the.
I can still kick you in
You're
the
like,
head.
I'll still fuck you up.
I can still kick you in the knee and not cry. I just have to wear a shin guard. We're going to have our bonus after that. There's a couple weird things that happen on the internet. We're going to talk about, maybe answer a few more of these questions. Oh, that's not a question. But a few more of these questions from the fans. And also, did you ever get info from Mr. What's his name for the raffle, for the giveaway?
Oh, Hilliard? I haven't looked in a couple days, maybe a few.
So Hilliard, that's his name, right? Kevin Hilliard.
Yeah.
Hey, if you haven't messaged us, make sure you message us on the Two Straws Instagram page so we can send you that thing. And I got some goodies from Fight Week that we can give away at the end of this month. So, guys, tune in for the next one. Make sure you become a member so you can be part of the giveaway. And we'll raffle that off next time we're out here. Bye.
Yeah.